Talked about the Lakers' big win. What I have not talked about, though, is the 420 meeting 911. It's kind of a weird show that way. Don't ask me why I've got a library of 911 calls. I've always been fascinated by that. But I've got a library of 911 calls. Here's the latest entry. You tell me where you rank this one. Here's exactly what happens when 420 meets 911. Imagine you're a 911 operator. The phone lights up, and on the other end, it could be somebody whose life is in danger, somebody who's being attacked, somebody who's being harmed or maimed, maybe sexually assaulted. Dozens of horrific scenarios. I wouldn't want that job at all. It could be any one of those things. Somebody being bludgeoned, mugged, assaulted. Or it could be some blunted up stoner who wants to have a little chat about growing weed. Check this guy out. He calls 911 to ascertain just how much trouble he can get into for growing cron in his house. Obviously, the guy's baked. He got really paranoid and decided to do a little research, so he called 911. Check it.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
Let's not get into that yet. I have a question.
Is this an emergency, sir?
Depends.
Well,
not really.
If it's not an emergency, you don't call 911, sir.
Well, I have a legal question.
Yeah, what's your location? Let's not get into that yet. Hey, easy there. Easy there, lady. Pump the brakes. Let's not get into that yet. Let me tell you something. I've heard a lot of nonsense over the years on a lot of 911 calls, but I have never heard a caller get asked about his emergency and then respond with, let's not get into that yet. Like, wait a second. We don't even know each other. Let's just go ahead and break the ice first. Where are you from? It's an emergency service hotline. That's all they want to know. That's all they're interested in. Emergencies. What's your emergency? Where are you? Let's not get into that yet. Get into what yet? The only thing they need to know? The only thing they want to know? You don't want to get into that yet? Let's not get into that yet. Lady, you're really killing my buzz. Take it easy, ma'am. What's the rush? I really don't want to get into that yet. Let's just, have a little foreplay first. First things first. So I'm growing this lettuce. And she's a pro now. She's no BS. She's a pro. She finally gets some info out of him. And check out the exasperated silence that ensues when he finally does get his question out. Check out how long it takes the super professional operator to finally get that info out of him.
Well, it's not. Is this an emergency?
I don't know what that means.
Is it life-threatening or an active crime in progress?
Crime in progress, possibly.
What's going on?
I was just growing some marijuana. I was just wondering how much, trouble you can get into for one plant.
You're growing marijuana and you want to know how much. Depends on how big the plant is.
It's only a seedling.
No, it's possession.
Okay.
You can get pinched for a roach in a car.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the info.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
You're welcome, stoner. I love the pothead trying to claim that it's only a seedling. Does that guy sound like he's only got one plant? That guy sounds like he just smoked a whole hefty bag of cron. If you're only blunted on one plant's worth of lettuce, you're not calling 911 to chant, stoner. I mean, the only thing that would have been more fitting for that call is if you could actually hear him sparking a J during the call and if Cypress Hill was bumping in the background. What's that song really mean? Now, this lady, she was not amused. Of course, 911 traced that call. Narcotics officers went and they knocked on the door and they arrested the baker. You think that might have bugged him out just a little bit? Stoners get all freaked out if they spill their bong water. Imagine this head. This guy couldn't even get through a phone call. Imagine this head when the narcotics officers come through the door with the handcuffs. You probably called 911 again. Dude, the cops are here. I'm freaking out. Help me. Yeah, loser, I sent them there. Remember, you called me 10 minutes ago asking what would happen if I had a plant. I'm the reason they're here. Hang up the phone, put on the silver bracelets, get in the car, and stop growing cron. One plant left. Started with a forest. It's not what 911's for, stoner. But my favorite part of that, though, Alvy, my favorite part of that was the very beginning when she asked him a very simple question. And he's like, let's not get into that just yet. She should have hung up on him. What is your location? What is your emergency? Slow down. She just pumped the brakes there, lady. Let's just not get into that yet. Get into what? The reason you're calling? The reason we're here? Look, burnout. Hey, Rome, that call was hilarious. But at least we now know why we haven't heard from Mike in San Diego for a while. Does this guy sound like Mike? Not at all.
Let's not get into that, yes. I have a question.